In this video, we are working on an 8-mark exam style question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks. One question. Hi guys, Liva here from Bright Young Brains. So a question like this in particular, you'll find like plenty other similar examples within the sequences and series online course that we created. So if you want details on that, you can just check that out in the description. However, here we are. They've given us a sequence. Now with this sequence, they said in the arithmetic sequence, so we know it's arithmetic, they said determine the sum of the terms that are not, divisible by 3. What? Okay, that's interesting. So with the question like this one, right, they want you to add up all the terms that are not divisible by 3. Now questions like these are somewhat common and they have a format or a method that you need to follow. This is going to be a lot of writing, so brace yourself. Apart from it being a lot of writing, it's a lot of simple things that we're going to be writing. So what you want to take note of is if they want you to work out the sum of all the terms that are not divisible by 3, what you want to do for yourself is firstly write out your sequence. You have been given a sequence, yes, fine, but what I mean is at least write out literally like 9 or 10 terms. I know, write it out first. So here we have 3, 7, 11, and then 15. So the common difference here is 4. You see, adding 4, adding 4, adding 4. So here, if you add 4, you have 19, going on and on and on and on and on. 3, 7, 11, going on. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 terms. That's fine. It doesn't have to be 9 specifically. What I mean is just write out quite a few so that you can spot a trend. So to add more to what I've just said now, what you want to take note of is if you look at your arithmetic sequence, right, they want you to determine the sum of all the terms that are not, let me highlight this more, terms that are not divisible by 3. So what you want to do is circle the ones that are divisible by 3. Like here, circling ones that are divisible by 3 or putting a block around them, I think. Let's do that. You see, this is divisible by 3. This will work out. This will work out. Going on and on and on and on and on. And if you check here, from 35, your next term would have just been a 39, of which that's divisible by 3. Now, having just done this, what you're needing to see here is that after every 2 terms, you see, if you have one term, skip 2, something is divisible by 3. Skip 2, something is divisible by 3. Going on and on and on. So those are all the values that are divisible by 3. Now you want to add up all the ones that are not divisible by 3. Now the easiest thing to do is these ones here that are divisible by 3, they somewhat make up a sequence on their own. And we know that these terms are going all the way to 671. So we need to take note of that. And I think because we've gotten this far, this is the portion where you need to just relax. You need to calm down, because with a question like this one, right, there's a lot of writing, but it's very simple steps, very simple things that you need to know. So because they want us to get the sum of all the terms that are not divisible by 3, we have highlighted everything that is divisible by 3. Now, everything that's highlighted, let's see what kind of a sequence that forms. From 3 to 15, let's see here. 3, 15, 27, 39, going on and on and on. These, from 3 to 15, you add 12. If you add 12 again, you have 27. If you add 12 again, you have 39, going on and on and on. This would go on until a specific value, which we obviously need to find. Before we find that value, which we will do just now, what we are going to do is, for us to work out all the terms that are not divisible by 3, for us to add all of those up, what we will need to do is, we will get the sum of all the terms in our original sequence until 671. After doing that, we will subtract all these terms here. What that will leave us with is all these ones that are not divisible by 3. You see, so I repeat, for us to get the sum of all the terms that are not divisible by 3, what you're going to do is get the sum of everything first. And then you're going to remove everything that is actually divisible by 3. What you're going to have left is the ones that are not divisible by 3. Sounds simple enough, because it is. And as we work on it, it will get simpler as well. So with a question like this, you're basically going to use your SN formula and your TN formula. Point is, you're going to use multiple formulas. So here we have our sequence of terms that are divisible by 3. Now you want to find out up to which value will you be adding up these terms. So to find that out, What you can do is you need to use this value here. We know that our sequence goes up to 671. Now 671 is somewhere in our original sequence, right? Now 671 is not divisible by 3, you see. So the last term that will be divisible by 3 is before 671. So to find that value, obviously we know in our original sequence, we basically have a common difference of 4, adding 4 all the time. So what you can do is you can start working backwards until you find the last term that will be divisible by 3, which will be the term that you put there. So let's work backwards. If you remove 4 here, you're going to have 667. That is not divisible by 3. So let's remove 4 more. This is definitely divisible by 3. So in our sequence of terms that are divisible by 3, 663 would be our last term. Perfect. We know the last term in our original one. We know the last term in the sequence of values divisible by 3. So what we need to do is we need to work out the sum of all our terms in our original one minus all our terms in the sequence that are divisible by 3. And then what we will have left is these ones here that are not divisible by 3. So the first thing we said we need to do is to get the sum of all these terms. Now for us to get the sum of all those terms, we need to obviously work out how many terms are we adding up in the first place, meaning we need to find the position of this value in our sequence. So let's do that. Because this is an arithmetic sequence, right? We know that 671 is in a particular position in our sequence, because if we find the position of this value, we will know how many values we are adding up. So our normal Tn formula will help us, because we have Tn, which is 671. We have our first term, which is 3. We have our value for n. No, we don't. That's what we're looking for, remember? So n is just n. D is our common difference, which is a 4. So working out n here gives us the position of this value, which we can use in our Sn formula. So our value for n there is just 168. So we know that there are 168 terms in our original sequence. So let's see how much that adds up to. So to see what 168 terms add up to, we can obviously use our Sn formula. So this formula here, putting in all our values, we know that this, you obviously want to put all this into your calculator, because why not? There you go. So in your original sequence, everything adds up to 56,616. Now in your sequence of values that are divisible by 3, you're basically going to do the exact same thing. And you see, it's a lot of writing, but you can see it's simple things that you're writing down. So doing the same for this sequence, we want to find out what position will this value be in. Now we know that 663 is our value for Tn. A is just a 3, n we don't know, and then our value for D here is 12. Working out a value for n here, your value for n there would be 56. So working out the sum of the first 56 terms there, we know we would need to put everything in our normal Sn formula, because this is also just an arithmetic sequence or an arithmetic series. Now adding all this up or putting all this into your calculator, you're getting the 18,648. Whew! You see, everything adds up to 56,616. Everything that is divisible by 3 adds up to 18,648. So all the ones that are not divisible by 3, if you're going to get the sum of all those values, it's going to be this value minus all the ones that are divisible by 3. What's going to be left is the ones that are not divisible by 3 there. So to do that, we know that it is just normal maths. This minus that gives you the sum of all the values that are not divisible by 3. So this question in the online course on sequences and series, there's a very similar question. Actually, I think quite a few questions that are very similar to this. I think there's like 3 or 4 of them, which work on values that are divisible by this, values that are not divisible by this. Very similar questions in case you want more examples.